A lot of people, especially those who speak a European language like English or French, have this idea that Mandarin Chinese is the hardest language in the world to learn. But I'm here to convince you that Mandarin is actually a lot easier than you might think at first glance. Number 1. Anyone who's ever learned French or Spanish knows how frustrating it is to have to memorize a million different conjugations. Thankfully, Mandarin does not have conjugations at all, like actually zero. Mandarin uses time particles like today, tomorrow, yesterday at 12 to indicate when an action happened. It has a particle, le, to indicate when an action is completed, and that's it. I know 50% of the time I spent learning French was mastering conjugations, so think about how much of a time saver this would be. Number 2, Mandarin doesn't normally distinguish between singular and plural, so go is dog and also dogs. To pluralize go, if we really need to, we can add a number like 3 or a quantity word like many or some. Number 3, Mandarin also doesn't use grammatical gender, just like English. In fact, the words for he, she, and it are all the same in Mandarin, ta, although they are written differently. So Mandarin uses grammatical gender arguably to a lesser extent than English. Gender is found in most languages spoken in Europe, and if you've ever tried to learn a language with grammatical gender, especially German and French, it is a huge headache to literally remember the gender of every single word you learn. It doesn't even make sense that French speakers consider an apple feminine, but German speakers consider an apple masculine. If you're curious about grammatical gender, check out this other video I made explaining why grammatical gender exists in some languages. Number 4. With a language written in the Latin alphabet like English, you can easily try to sound out a word since the letters are basically the same. But how on earth do you try to sound out a Chinese character? Well, actually, there's a super simple solution, Pinyin. Pinyin was developed in the 1950s to help learners with the pronunciation of Mandarin. Pinyin is an alphabet that uses the Latin alphabet, which is what English uses, to spell out the pronunciation of Chinese in a straightforward way that's easy for non-Chinese speakers to pronounce the words. The accents used on Pinyin is used to denote the 4 tones of Mandarin. There's the high tone, ma, the rising tone, ma, the falling then rising tone, ma, and then the falling tone, ma. So while the pronunciation may be challenging, Pinyin makes the pronunciation easy and predictable, which is something that cannot be said about the spelling of English. Number 5. People are often overwhelmed by the written characters of Mandarin, but there are actually hints and patterns inside of each character which can help you guess its meaning or to prompt your memory. For example, the words to wash, xi, ocean, hai, and to swim, you, all have a component which means the character that is related to water. Number 6. Mandarin does not use articles. Anyone who has tried to learn German's thousands of articles will appreciate this one. So a Mandarin speaker, in order to say he eats the apple, would just say 他吃苹果, or literally, he eat apple. Easy enough. Number 7. Unlike Latin, German, Greek, or Russian, Mandarin does not use grammatical case. In grammatical case, each noun takes on a different ending or is associated with a specific article depending on where the word is located in the sentence to indicate that the noun is the subject, direct object, indirect object, or object of a prepositional phrase. This is why German has so many articles. Mandarin uses none of that though, thank goodness. Number 8. A lot of languages will reorder words for various reasons. A lot of Germanic languages will change the order of words after a conjunction like however, therefore, words like that, or they will leave the verb at the end of the sentence like in German or Dutch. Or they will invert the subject and verb in questions like in English and then also Latin languages like in French. But Mandarin sentence order is pretty consistent. It doesn't move around a whole lot. The subject and verb always stay put and don't swap places in most instances. Finally, while complex sentence structure in Mandarin can be a bit challenging to wrap your head around, basic sentence structure in Mandarin is pretty straightforward. For example, 你好吗?我很好, or 你有几个姐妹?我有3个姐妹. Excuse my accent. While there are several things that make Mandarin a challenging language to learn, like the writing system, the tones, and the lack of shared vocabulary between many European languages and Mandarin, many challenging aspects of grammar in European languages are way simpler in Mandarin. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future videos.